Okay, everyone. Well, if we're ready, let's get started. Welcome everybody to Medical Monks, where your care is our highest calling. And this is another edition of our monthly MONK-POSIUM webinar. We have a very special guest with us today. Toni Schneider is the COO of Ostique, a UK-based designer of many innovative ostomy products. They are, they are our newest manufacturer partner. We are the exclusive distributor of their Skins ostomy covers, which are a new product, which are a perfect Christmas gift item for anybody out there. It's a great Christmas idea. Toni's going to have a great presentation for us here, and without further ado, take it away, Toni.
Thank you very much, Adam. Hello, everybody. It's my evening, your daytime, but good evening. Thank you very much for having me. It's really, really nice to be here. As Adam said, I do have a presentation, and it's kind of in the guise of really talking about kind of the insights in the UK market and actually trying to establish if there are similarities of what you guys are feeling out there in the US, being somewhere that we are obviously selling our skins, but also with the hope of the future products in the future. So there are a couple of interactive moments, but generally speaking, again, thank you for having me. I'll say now, in the UK, we sort of use the term ostomates as well as stoma bags or pouches, and I hope that if I continue to use that language in this presentation, that I don't cause any offence to anybody, because no offence is intended. So let me start by the presentation. I wonder if you can see that. Hopefully that is a yes. So, hi, I'm Toni from Ostique. Thank you for having me, and I'm talking today about empowering the ostomy community. Give the slide a moment just to change. We at Ostique, our intention and our bread and butter is to transform the lives of people suffering with chronic bowel disease, and that is through innovative products as well as the power of shared experience. And as we get towards the end of my presentation, I will really kind of give you some more information about those products and how we're harnessing the power of shared experience. But before we get there, I wanted to tell you a little bit about how Ostique came to be. It was inspired by Stephanie, that's the little girl in the middle there. Her two younger brothers both have Crohn's disease, which, as you'll know or you may not know, is often a prelude to needing stoma surgery. And at the time, her brothers were faced with the prospect of needing surgery. And when she looked kind of what was on the market, there was this real recognition that often products can be quite medically stigmatizing, but also functionally flawed. And that really set about our journey to improving the status quo. And that's really because as we've been working so hard with the community, and that is of both ostomates, nurses, clinicians, other key stakeholders, we're hearing time and time again about the same issues that are recurring, and nothing's really being done to really stop that or fix that. And that's what's really been a driving force for us as well. So today I'm kind of going to give you some high-level thoughts about the things we're hearing about functionality, odor control, noise issues, as well as societal issues. And I'd really like to hear kind of your thoughts about that as well. So I also say that everybody's journey and everybody's stoma and their experience is individual to them, and that's something again that we really, really recognize. So whilst I'm not trying to create any generality, there are often themes that we hear time and time again. So if we look at functionality and specifically the adhesion, through all of our research as well as hearing what people are saying, you know, we hear that 91% of patients are experiencing product leakages. You know, from our perspective, that is far too high a number to be acceptable. You know, people are saying that the flange doesn't stick properly. And if you don't have a washboard stomach, it doesn't fit properly. And, you know, somebody says, I hate the leaks and the skin complications that come with it. And this is just a sample of what people are saying. So, Adam, I wonder if you can put the poll up. We can ask our audience what their feelings are about adhesion. Adam, I'm not sure if that poll's up, so let me know.
No, I think it's yeah, it's up. We've got some votes coming in now.
Great. Really interesting. I'm seeing these numbers change, but I think we're seeing a high percentage of people that do experience problem with adhesion. I'll give it a couple more seconds. So what I'm seeing is 70% of you wonderful listeners have problems with adhesion, and that is significant. Then we kind of think about the smell, the odor control, and this is something again that really adds and can cause additional embarrassment, and you know, something that we believe could be absolutely avoided. You know, patients are saying, my ostomy pouch smells, or the filters don't work, or some bags don't even have filters because they never work. So what's the point? And as we say, that can be really embarrassing. And Adam, I wonder if we can have the next poll and see if our audience also have issues with smell.
All right, here we go.
Keep them coming. Love a bit of interaction, guys. Thank you so much for participating as well. Really appreciate hearing your thoughts. Wow. I mean, it's 77%. That's high. And again, that's like from our perspective, like that's way too high. Because it can, I mean, if you pass wind and, you know, you kind of like step away and nobody wants that. And it's embarrassing for everybody. So like, I'm really sorry that you're also experiencing that. I wonder if we also now move on to kind of the next thing that we hear time and time again is the noise. Now, obviously this is not a clinical issue or clinical contention, but actually what we are hearing time and time again is that rustling noise that, you know, somebody says, I can't stand the rustling noise. I sound like a crisp packet. Now we say crisps, you say chips, but that crisp chip packet rustling, you know, we were talking to this really lovely lady and she was saying that, you know, people hear her before she even comes into a room. And one grandpa found it really difficult to play hide and seek. And again, I wonder whether or not you would indulge me with another poll to see if you guys also find that the noise of the pouches to be undesirable at the very least. Give you guys a couple of seconds to kind of answer this one. So far, oh, it was 100%. Now we're on 50-50. Interesting. What I'm seeing here is actually the noise is less of a concern for our audience today. Give you guys a couple more seconds. Thank you. There's only one more poll, I promise. And the last kind of point that I really want to touch on, and be really interesting to kind of talk about, is this societal issue and this loneliness point that we often hear about. I mean, if I read this first question, that the first point out, which says, as a Black woman, I'm still finding it quite hard in the community for other Black community members to come forward. I know they are there, but they don't seem to want to come forward. And I think we see that in lots of different communities, that people don't like talking about it, or they find it really difficult to talk about. And certainly here in the UK, we have lots of kind of different groups or charity groups, but really finding other people who are kind of at similar journeys and at similar stages to really talk about can be really difficult and can often be really isolating. Even knowing how to talk about it with family and friends can be quite challenging and difficult, because there's still what we call like this poo taboo, that people don't really like to talk about it. You know, the second quote here, at the beginning, I didn't tell my children about it. I hid it away. I was so embarrassed and ashamed, and I didn't know what their reaction would be like. And often what we hear is kind of the thought of having those conversations can be harder than actually those conversations in real life. But it by no means kind of eases that burden, because it can be quite worrisome. And that final quote, I had no one to talk to about this. If I hadn't come across people's accounts on social media, I don't know what I would have done. No one in my social circle has had anything like this. It was super isolating. And so I asked Adam for one final poll to see if you've ever felt on your journey that kind of loneliness, or the fact that people aren't talking about it. Because from our perspective, we see that quite a lot. And again, just don't think that's right. And if you don't feel that way, that's absolutely fine as well. As I said, everybody's experience and journey is completely different, and people might feel super supported, but still find it maybe perhaps challenging how to discuss it at work or with friends, and having to cancel arrangements. We hear a lot that it's quite isolating, that people don't necessarily understand. And a lot of that can be also in the lead up to kind of needing that kind of surgery. But I'll give you guys a couple more seconds on that. Brilliant. So we're seeing that, you know, it reigns true that people kind of do at times feel this loneliness. But having said that, and having said kind of looking at kind of this commonality that you know you guys feel, and what, you know, people here in the UK feel, you know, it's super important to kind of recognize that there's some amazingly positive and amazing and inspiring stories that we also hear. And at Ostique, we're holistically tackling all of those issues head on. And that is by bringing to market superior products alongside amazing support services, so that, you know, all of anybody who felt isolated or lonely or does have a problem with noise or smell doesn't have to have that anymore. And that's really fundamentally what we're trying to achieve, like make your lives better. You know, our motto is designed with life in mind, and just really kind of thinking about how we can improve just your quality of life, generally speaking. As I said, one of our initiatives is our podcast, which is called, pardon my French, Chatting Shit with Ostique. And it's amazing listening to these stories, and we have such a plethora and abundance of a variety of people who participate in that, because there is always light at the end of the tunnel. And that's something also that's super important for us to be able to do, to be able to share this wonderful light. And I, you know, our podcast is available on Spotify and YouTube, but it's also just a really good resource just to kind of hear and to like be part of something in a community. And it's something that we also encourage non-ostomates to listen to, because again, we think part of so much of like our role is educating those not just who had this kind of surgery, but everybody else around, to know the impacts and just to be able to like get talking about it. And we think that's super, super important. And so something we've kind of put together, taken from a lot of our podcasts, is an amazing video that I'd really love if you would join me in watching. So Adam, if you could please play the video, that would be wonderful. Thank you.
Welcome to Chatting Shit with Ostique.
The ostomy, in a way, was an absolute miracle, and it amazed me how soon it made me feel better.
When I had an active collapse, I couldn't do anything. I was just lying around, just in pain or asleep because I was so tired.
You have to grow to love it because it's saving your life, and you can't be embarrassed by something that's saving your life. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
No, my back sort of helps give me that little bit of identity, and it certainly helps me advocate better because people can physically see it. And I've always thought of it going, well, this has saved my life, like this has given me my life back, so I don't really care.
The cancer is almost certainly going to bring me to my knees physically. There's not much, potentially seemingly not a huge amount I can do about that, but the chances of it bringing me to my knees mentally is zero. It just won't ever happen. I basically set myself a goal of I want to achieve more with cancer than what I achieved before I got cancer.
I will agree, it doesn't matter whether you've got cancer or not. Whatever you're going through, whatever reason you've had to get your stoma, like, you will find the people who have had a similar experience and who make you feel so much less lonely in this experience.
My advice, if people do want to speak to people with a stoma bag, it's just being understanding and, you know, being empathetic. It's not feeling sorry for them. I don't think it's definitely not feeling sorry. It's just, if you are interested in it, I think you can ask questions, ask them if they're right to answer it first. Being, you know, open between the two parties, what they want to talk about and what you want to talk about. It's just finding that balance between.
You will have dark days. They are inevitable. There's also plenty of good days, which ultimately will outweigh.
Yeah, just have confidence in yourself, and literally you can do anything with the stoma bag. Don't hold back.
Not just about the pain you're going through, it's about the future. A stoma can give you a future if you're living with these illnesses.
And to wake up and know that there was a light at the end of the tunnel was just absolutely amazing. So I think that's why I embrace it so much.
And then you'll surprise yourself by how far you've come and what you're capable of. Because I never would have believed that I could have gone through what I have done in the last year and a half, which is amazing.
It is amazing.
So hopefully that all worked and you saw that, and I was just thinking, you know, what an amazing and inspiring community, because it really can be life transforming. Now I'm going to go back to my slides because I wasn't quite finished. So give me 1 second. I think it's going to start all over again, annoyingly. Hopefully it won't. I also hope you could understand all of the different accents there. There are a couple of northerners, but hopefully you could understand. So let this just load. And as I said, what we've seen there and what we hear is so many people have different feelings about it. And here are just some really lovely, lovely things that we've heard. You know, as I said, people feel differently. Some people absolutely love their stoma and it's given them a whole new lease of life. Some people don't love it, but actually it saved their life, and that's okay too. And I think that's something that we really champion. Not everybody feels the same, but, like, you know, it's amazing. It's an amazing journey and a difficult one at times, but something that we're really proud to be part of. You know, my stoma changed my life and I haven't looked back since. That's, you know, something somebody said. So hopefully, you know, you'll be able to come back and read some of these amazingly positive things. And And just to kind of really touch on, as I said, how we Ostique are trying to holistically approach and empower this wonderful community that we are part of, is with our stoma bags that we are bringing out in the UK next year, early next year, and we do hope to be able to bring to America. As Adam talked about, our skins, which are exclusively available through Medical Monks, and they are our covers, which are compatible with the majority of stoma bags. They can be skin tone color matched or super fun and colorful. So do have a look on the Medical Monks website for those. Our podcast, we also have a card range. And that really came about because we were doing a photo shoot and it was somebody's stomaversary. And there was just no way that we could acknowledge that. So we thought, you know what, we're gonna acknowledge that ourselves. And we've now worked with a company called Thoughtful, which is like a moon pig, and brought our own card range to life. And finally is Ostique Connect, which is really kind of our digital offering, which connects ostomates with other ostomates who are at the same stage of their journey, who have come through a similar journey. So whether that's IBD or cancer, talking to somebody else who can try and understand that much more thoughtfully than perhaps you could find elsewhere. Or if you haven't found elsewhere, we hope to be the home of kind of really bringing and empowering the community. And I'm really, really grateful, and thank you so much for letting me talk to you guys. And I'll stop that here, but if you have any questions, do let me know.
Yeah, thank you so much, Toni. That was it's a great presentation. Now I'm wondering if anybody here, I see we have some people obviously live in the room. The chat over on you'll see over on your right. If anybody has any questions.
When is the Tina? When is the podcast? I see that one. The podcast is released. We're on our second series. So if you have a go on Spotify or YouTube, you'll find us at Ostique. Adam, do you want to read the questions or do you want me to? Sorry, I don't want to.
It's up to you. We can do this however. I lost a few of the chats that were coming through earlier because my window reloaded. But I'm seeing what's coming up now. So it's up to you, whatever you feel more comfortable with.
I'm happy to kind of just run through. I think there's a question here about the skins and being waterproof. So the material itself is waterproof, and you can go swimming with it. Obviously there's with the pouches themselves. I actually have some here. Something I prepared earlier. They have a pocket that's kind of, this is a black one, it's super soft, and there is a pocket here underneath. So you know, if you have a drainable device, you can just put it in the pocket so it doesn't hurt. So it's open, so it's not, obviously water can get in, but if this is all waterproof, and if you're just kind of having a shower, or we'll keep it all dry. The back is super stretchy, so it's really easy to actually get on. There's instructions of how to use it through Medical Monks, so please do kind of speak to them and check it out through that side of things. And in terms of the price, again, if you have a look on the Medical Monks website, all the pricing will be there. If I go,
I believe we have them for $32.99 on the site right now.
Are there ostomy support organisations besides the National Ostomy Association? Yeah, well, in the UK, I can certainly talk about, we kind of have two really big organisations. One is called Colostomy UK, and the other one is called the IA, Ostomy Association. And happy to make any introductions. There's quite a few organisations globally, like Canada has quite a big one as well. But I think there's like lots of different pockets. There's obviously Facebook groups, but if you need any other information, please feel free to reach out to me and I can make any connections there for you. The final question, has anyone successfully solved the problem of getting the word out to new ostomates that there are others who could help them? We are trying to do that. because I think that's something that's really lacking. And I think, you know, Roy, I think what you've kind of saying there is people find it really hard to find one another. And as I said, and certainly at a similar or same stage of their journey. And that's what we're trying to harness and do with Ostique Connect, and be this first digital platform to really connect ostomates with one another. Think dating app without the sex, where you are matched with people who you want to talk to, who can help. And I think what's really important, you know, especially on that kind of side of things, and I think this is what we hear, people at all different stages of their lives, you know, having this kind of surgery, or even when you've had your stoma for a really long time, like knowing what you can and can't do, like being intimate, as well as kind of how to dress, what kind of sports. And actually most of us, you can do everything, but actually never speaking to somebody who can really empathize and help you through that is really important. And that's what we're trying to do. You know, if you're on a fertility journey, somebody who may or may, you know, who's gone through that to really help you. And, you know, that experience for men and women can be really different. And so again, that's what we're really trying to do, is allow you guys to connect with one another, to support each other, because that's, I think, the world, we all want to feel and to be connected. And I think that power of connectivity cannot be underestimated. So if we can do anything to service that, that's certainly something we want to do. And we're going to go back to the chat to see if there's anything else in there. It would be great if an ostomate can visit you in the hospital. Totally. But that's, again, with Ostique Connect, to even before you've had the surgery, if you want to go on the app and talk to somebody that's, you know, either just had the surgery or even further down the line, to find somebody who can actually tell you what to expect. And again, one of our podcasts is with a doctor called Dr. Phil Tozer, and I really do would recommend this podcast to listen to. And again, and I don't know how it works out in the US, but something he was talking about is how when patients go and have the surgery, sometimes often without any notice at all, is that nobody explains how it can impact intimacy or different functions and what can actually happen, whether it can lead to erectile dysfunction or changes in your vagina. And people are they don't want to say those words, or often people sometimes don't even know who to ask or too embarrassed to ask. And so talking to somebody who in a really safe space, you know, all of the chats are all encrypted, but in a safe space can be really powerful, because as I said, sometimes nurses or clinicians kind of miss the mark and don't get it. And actually you just want to talk to somebody who's been there and done that. And, you know, I saw further up, Patty, you've been out golfing, you know, that's amazing. And we want to spread the word. You can do and live and socialize. And if you are afraid to try or to do that finding somebody else who can help you through that is so powerful, because you're not alone and it can feel really isolating. Has anyone found a product that helps with the odor from the bag? So our bags, when they come to America, we have an integrated odor barrier into the bag itself and a filter that we believe works and does work. So we hope to be able to combat the issues with odor control as well. But again, there are issues. Again, I think probably speak to medical monks and kind of see what other ancillary products are available, or your clinicians, because there are often kind of things that you can put into your bags that can help with smell.
Yeah, absolutely. You can contact our customer service anytime. We're happy to recommend. We carry the plethora of ostomy odor eliminators and pouch lubrication. Usually those kind of go hand in hand. But yeah, you can contact our customer service anytime for that.
Patty, I wonder if you're talking about a company called Vanilla Blush, who make beautiful underwear, which is also an option to, and again, just make you feel sexy and feel good about it. And you know, that's again what the intention of our Ostique skins are, is, you know, if you want to go swimming and match it with your with your bikini, or you want to wear your little black dress, or you want to go out and you're wearing a shirt and you want it to match your shirt. You know, we want to give options and the opportunity to really just empower. And I think those are all my questions.
Yeah. Does anyone else have any more questions? Okay, well, I don't think we're seeing anything else.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah,
I hope I wasn't too difficult to understand also.
No, I can understand you perfectly. I think everyone else can too. But yeah, that's thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate you. We love Skins products, and you know, everything else you guys do. And like I said, perfect stocking stuffer idea. So everyone should check it out.
Great
at
Christmas present. Great Christmas present. And if you want any more information from us, find us on Instagram, Twitter, all the usual hotspots. And if any other information, restate your resource for intimacy. The Vanilla Blush, they do knickers. So have a look on her website. As I said, all the skins, perfect Christmas gift kind of. They're also so beautiful. Like from a texture perspective, they're so super soft. It's like a suede almost. Unspoken Rosebud. I will check that out. Thank you very much, Patty. Really appreciate that.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. I hope everybody has a great day. Thank you so much, Toni.
Thank you, Adam.
Thanks a lot. See you later.
Bye.